What's going on YouTube? This is ParkerLad88 coming at you with another video. Today I've got a deck profile for you guys featuring Ancient Gears. So I really like Ancient Gears. I like the way the designs on the cards look, just like antique robots that are still really powerful. I've always been interested in playing Ancient Gears, but I never saw like a deck profile of them before, like all the new support that was kind of interesting to me until this stuff. So I want to share with you guys what my current build for Ancient Gears is going to be. The deck I feel, is a lot of fun, and yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So guys, all my cards are kind of out of order here, as you can see. Usually I like to start with my monsters, but I'm kind of going to just talk about everything as I go. So the first thing you do is run 3 copies of Gear Town. For anything involving Ancient Gears, you have to run 3 copies of this. Not only does it make your tribute summonable Ancient Gears easier to summon, basically you can tribute from for like 1 less, which is really good because this guy here, Ancient Gear Reactor Dragon, gets his effects from Ancient Gears and from gadgets. So being able to tribute 1 Ancient Gear gadget for this guy so he gets all of his effects is really, really nice. So you get that, and then also if this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon an Ancient Gear from anywhere, which isn't anything new for people who've been playing Ancient Gears. Next up, we have Ancient Gear Catapult. Ancient Gear Catapult says that you can target 1 face-up card you control and destroy it, and if you do, you summon an Ancient Gear from your deck ignoring the summoning conditions. That means that you can summon this guy in addition to all the other guys. So the main combo is between going Ancient Gear Catapult into Gear Town. You can get 2 special summons from the deck from Ancient Gear Catapult and Gear Town. The only drawback to this card is that you can't activate this card if you control monsters. That's the only thing I don't like about this card. But its second effect can make up for that with in combination with other cards. So what its other effect is you can banish this from your graveyard, target a card on a face-up card on your field, destroy it, and if you do, special summon a Ancient Gear token, which also helps empower this guy with effects. But you can also use that in order to blow up your in order to blow up your Gear Town, so you can get special summons that way as well. We have 2 terraformings for our Gear Town. I don't like running 3. There's just something about terraforming. I don't know what it is. It's just a gripe of mine. I only like running 2 terraforming. So 2 terraforming. Next up, we have Ancient Gear Fortress, another one of the new cards. So Ancient Gear Fortress says that your Ancient Gear monsters cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effects in the turn they are normal or special summoned. Also, your opponent cannot respond to the activation of Ancient Gear effects. So anytime I activate an Ancient Gear card for an effect, my opponent just kind of has to deal with it, which is cool. Also, if this card is sent from my spell and trap card zone to the graveyard, if it's destroyed, then you can special summon Ancient Gears from your hand or graveyard. So this special summons from everywhere, mostly the deck, and this special summons from hand or grave. Really good. You can also comp Ancient Gear Catapult with that as well in order to get your special summons. It's really good stuff. That's where a lot of the main combos come from. Next up we have MST. I like MST in this deck better than Twin Twister because outside of Ancient Gear Catapult, there's nothing I really want to toss with Twin Twister. I could toss the big guys too, but still, I'd rather just not. So MST I think is better in this particular instance. A lot of the times I use MST just to blow up my own stuff to get pluses. So next up we have 1 copy of Instant Fusion. We won enough 4s that warrant running the 1 Norden, so we run 1 Instant Fusion. 1 Polymerization. Polymerization is good in this deck. This deck has some fusion stuff about it, so running 1 Polymerization doesn't hurt, because I also run King of the Swamps. You don't have to worry about dead drawing into this. It hasn't been a dead draw for me. Anyway, so we have Overload Fusion as well, Miracle Fusion for our Dark Monsters, so we can go for Ancient Gear Chaos Giant. Limiter Removal because Machines, Fusion Recovery because Fusion, and Ancient Gear Drill because I thought this would be a fun card to try out. You can toss a card, namely your Ancient Gear Catapult. You can use it to set any spell card that you want from your deck, but you can't use it that turn. So you can set your field spell, you can set your fortresses, you can set your MSTs and your limiter removals to prepare for your opponent's turn. All kind of neat stuff like that. So I feel like it's worth running at 1. I want to try it out and see how it works out. Moving into the monsters, we have the big boss daddy monster of the main deck in the form of Ancient Gear Reactor Dragon. We run this card at 3. So what this guy says is when he's tributed using Ancient Gears and gadgets to get the effect. Ancient Gears give him piercing, and gadget lets him attack twice. Also, when he attacks, your opponent can't activate spells or traps, and monster in your opponent's possession can't activate their effects as well. So, no battle phase traps, no floating effects, all kind of neat stuff like that. Also, at the end of the damage step, he can pop a spell trap on the field, which is really good because it also helps you trigger your fortresses and your gear towns, in addition to be able to blowing up your opponent's stuff as well. And because he can attack twice, he can actually activate that ability after every damage step, so he can pop up to 2 spell traps, which is good. Next up, we have Ancient Gear Gadget. I think it's really neat that they made an gadget, a precursor to the gadgets. So what this guy does is, when he's normal or special summoned, you can declare monster spell or trap, and your opponent can activate the effect of those cards when your monster's attacked. Not just Ancient Gears, but any monster. Also, he counts as any name that you want of a gadget monster. Not that effect is particularly important because I don't run Ancient Gear Gadiltron Dragon, but it's still nice to have. He's 4, that's great. It helps us with our instant fusion plays. So basically, you contribute one of these and he'll get both these effects off the gear town. Really nice stuff. Next up, we have Ancient Gear Wyvern. This is your Stratos. You can't set for the rest of the turn after you search for Ancient Gear cards. You have to get used to setting your spells and traps ahead of time, which kind of sets you up for Twin Twister plays, which sucks, but hey, I guess you can't have everything you want. But anyway, so he lets you search stuff. Next up, we have Ancient Gear Hound. He lets you use without using polymerization to run this guy at 3. I like him at 3. He also burns your opponent for 600 when you normal summon him, which is kind of neat as well. He combos nice with Ancient Gear Devil, which can burn off 1600 points of damage. Pretty good stuff. Next up, we have one copy of Ancient Gear Box. I like Ancient Gear Box because when I search with Ancient Gear Wyvern for Box, I can get a gear right after that. It makes fusion summoning in this deck a lot easier because you can just go Box into Ancient Gear Gadget. He gets that effect if he's brought back from the graveyard or if he's added to hand, which is why I run the Fusion Reserve. I can Fusion Reserve Ancient Gear Box to get a gadget from my deck. I can just search it with this, all kind of neat stuff like that. We have run the one copy of Ancient Gear Golem just to go for Ultimate Ancient Gear Golem, because Ancient Gear Golem is actually a good card in his own right. Can activate spell traps, he pierces, 3,000 over 3,000, it's cool. Also, 2 King of the Swamps. We can use King of the Swamps to search for our polymerization. We can have it count as Ancient Gear Golem if we need to. It beats running 3 copies of Ancient Gear Golem, because as you can see, I'm not really running trade-in or anything like that. There aren't really a lot of level 8s that warrant running trade-in in this deck, at least in the build that I'm using. And then for our traps, I'm not going to mention these because they're the same traps that almost everybody runs. Into the extra deck, we have Ancient Gear Devil at 2. I really like this card. It's easy to summon. The only way your opponent can get around this thing is by running it over because it's unaffected by everything. And then you burn your opponent for 1,000 pretty much every turn. So, or you can just run it in order to special summon out one of your Ancient Gears, ignoring the summoning condition. So that basically means you can go for this, you can go for this, pretty much whatever is in your, it's in the deck. I'm sorry. So you can't go for these, but you can go for anything in your main deck. So that's really cool. We have Ultimate Ancient Gear Golem. We have our King of the Swamps in order to substitute for Ancient Gear Golem. He gets back an Ancient Gear Golem. He also pierces like Ancient Gear Golem. He has a lot of attack, and your opponent can't activate spells and traps whenever he attacks. So really good stuff, especially for a card back then. Next up, we have Ancient Gear Chaos Giant. This is pretty much like our OTK enabler. Attacks everything, does piercing, unaffected by spell traps. During the battle phase, your opponent can't activate monster effects. All kinds of good stuff. We have one copy of Nordenbar Instant Fusion. We have Interblanthir for funsies because these guys are 9. You can bring out 2 of them, pretty easily between the Ancient Gear Town combos and Ancient Gear Catapult. We have one copy of Hope Harbinger. So between Ancient Gear Golem and Devil, we can bring this out. We have Gear Giant, Death Machines. We've got Castel, Diamond Dyer. Diamond Dyer lets us, basically gives us another way to blow up our gear towns and our fortresses and whatnot, so we can get pluses off of that if we need to. So yeah, Instant Fusion to that. I like that play. We have Utopia and Utopia the Lightning, Abyss Dweller, and the last card we have is Karen Gorgon. I think Karen Gorgon is actually a really good card in this deck, because if your opponent has something that can blow up things, like, would be a good example. I guess maybe like an Archfiend Eccentric or something like that. I was gonna say the Lusters, but the Draco Slayers, but not so much the Draco Slayers. But anyway, so yeah, he's really good because he can redirect things back at your gear town and at your fortresses, so you can get those things blown up and you can get pluses going. Or you can redirect them to Ancient Gear Devil, and Ancient Gear Devil won't be affected by this. So really good stuff. And that's pretty much it for the entire deck. I have Floodgate Trap Hole down here in the side just because of Chaos Giant. I might put this in. I might start maining it so I can flip everything face down and then just attack over everything for piercing. It might be worth a shot. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think of my take on Ancient Gears. I'm still going to be tinkering around with this deck. I think this deck is a lot of fun. But anyway, I'd like to hear your comments, and I'll be back to you later with future videos. This is Parker Lad, out.